그 중앙 트위터를
스키 24 반지 받았어? 아직 안 받았어. 잠깐 그 현지에서 유니폼 반지 줘야지.
맞아. 매점을 엄청 도저히 안 매져가지고
너한 정신없고
유튜브 검색해서 며칠 전에 아빠 걸로 시켰는데 오늘 아마존에서 왔단 말이야. 약간 하나 시켰어. 근데 도저히 안 매져. 샀어. 삐뚤어지고 해가지고
둘이 풀고 지내는데
그러니까 형진이가 가지고 있어요. 아 같이 있어? 아 그래? 난 두 개 있는 거야. 안 해봤어.
집에 왜 안 들어와? 이거를 열어서 갖다 줘요? 아니면 가져와서 갖다 줘요?
이거는 와서 열어줘.
왜 들어와요?
그냥 반지 교환한다고 할 때 와가지고
아니 일단 주문 들어가야 돼.
그러니까 그런 거 같아.
집에도 많은데 너가 먼저 생각 이거를 이렇게 열어주면은 내가 이거 꺼내가지고
그러니까 이제 곧 있으면 지금 미텀인가? 곧 있으면 미텀. Like that doesn't matter to you, right?
그냥 이거 진용은 베네딕토 김은지 안젤라 나온다고
그냥 일하고 있는데 뭐 요즘 락다운 시작된다 그래가지고 I'm guessing that I'm just gonna start working on 진짜 learning Monday. 집에서 일하기 딱 좋은데
괜찮아. 그리고 우리 그냥 여기 사람들끼리 하는 거기 때문에 떨어지지 마. 집에 요즘 많이 하는데
They're live streaming, so I'm not sure if like
지금 5분 55분에 형이랑
나 화장실 한 번 갔다 올게.
그래가지고 올라가서 여기
첫 데이트 강릉에 강릉
근데 저번 동료들이 만나가지고
있어?
그래가지고 소문인데 시상식은 소문나고 그런 거 있잖아. 소문나면 아파도 있잖아.
옮기고 튕겨주고
내가 얼마나 예쁘고 되는 거 생겼는데 우리 진짜 어려웠지.
뭐 있었어? 뭐 있었어?
The link they sent out was through the webcam.
Okay.
Okay. They gotta send out a new link and let everybody know.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. It's true. Wow. 잘못됐어.
아 그래?
저 정도 좀 가봐라.
유튜브?
I think they're live streaming through YouTube.
오 와우.
살짝. We want to make room.
오늘 오디언스가
오늘은
학교에서 입는 거야? 아 잠바만.
애들 앉아야 돼.
어제. 와우. 아 너무
얘들아
바빴어.
앉아서 기다려줘.
어디 봐 언제 앉아?
너희 테이블 그거 이름표 있어.
그래도 오늘 사랑해 월요일 내가 그치 진우는 오늘 미용실 갔더니 얘기하더라 아줌마가 진우 얘기하더라고 미용실 갔더니 신경 갔더니 나보고 아냐는 거야.
아, 그쵸. 저 며칠 전에 봤어요.
그래 그러더라고. 그래서 그럼 나도 알아. 그래서 얘기했지. 여섯 동안 딱 만나네. 애썼다야. 아유 그럼.
Good evening, everyone. At this time, we will begin the ceremony. Before we welcome Unji and Yongwon, I want to thank everyone for coming out to celebrate despite all the issues that may be going around with COVID. We also have guests joining us through live streaming from Korea, Pittsburgh, Germany, Toronto, and elsewhere in Canada. So welcome and stay tuned. My name is Jin Woo, and I'll be the MC for tonight. 저는 오늘 사회를 맡은 이준입니다. 반갑습니다. Alright, since we have such a diverse group of guests here tonight, I'll be jumping back and forth from Korean to English and vice versa. So please bear with me, and if you didn't catch something, you can ask your neighbors if your neighbors speak Korean. Good luck on that table. Alright, to give a short story about how I got to know the bride and groom. So Yongwon and I first met in St. Paul's High School here in Winnipeg. And he was in his junior year as I came in as a freshman, and since we went to the same church, we got to know each other quite well. Now at this time, Yongwon was hands down the church's favorite kid. As he aced in school, like he was leading the altar service, and I swear all the churches, ajumas and ajushis adored him.
That's true.
So he was, So he was the go-to person if I had any questions about anything, and since this guy is so nice, I followed him around quite a bit. And in school, he would buy me food, give me his tests and notes for me to cheat on, and he was a good 선배님 overall to look up to in high school. So after finishing up my degree in Montreal, I came back to Winnipeg in July, and he goes, "Bam, like I'm getting married soon, and you're gonna be my MC." So here I am, not being able to say no from taking all that bribery back in high school. 네, 하객 여러분, 제가 결혼식 사회는 처음 맡아와서 사실 좀 긴장도 많이 되고 떨리는데 혹시 중간중간에 실수하더라도 넓은 마음으로 양해 부탁드립니다. 그리고 오늘의 주인공인 신랑이랑 신부님도 결혼식이 처음이라서 그러니까 잠깐 실수가 있어도 이해해 주시고 큰 박수로 응원해 주시면 감사하겠습니다. So we have a good tight group of guests here tonight, and for all of you that are seated in this room, you can take pride that you made the COVID indoor max cap guest list. So we're very privileged. Speaking of COVID, I have to go through a few rules that are set by the restaurant. So guests are not required to have their masks on while you're seated in your seats, but whenever you have to get up for whatever reasons, please make sure you have your masks on. And also the tables are distanced 2 meters apart from each other, so if you, we would ask you to please refrain from interacting with other guests at different tables, minimizing the spread. And yeah, if you have to get up, just make sure you have your masks on. Alright, so lastly, you're encouraged to take beautiful photos throughout the ceremony with your cell phones, but please do make sure and take this time to turn it into mute, but you can always take pictures. And with that, let's begin. 자, 그럼 이제 신랑 진용원 군과 신부 김은지 양의 결혼식을 시작하겠습니다. Okay, I'll ask everyone to please stand up and welcome 은지 and 용원. 자, 여러분 모두 큰 박수로 신랑 신부를 맞아주시기 바랍니다. 자, 그럼 신랑 신부 입장. Okay, before I move on to more of the formal parts of the ceremony, I'd like to share a brief story about how the bride and groom got together. So 2 years ago, Unji started going to the Korean church with her friends where she wanted to volunteer in the youth ministry. There, she met Youngwon for the first time, who was the lead coordinator for the youth ministry. And Eunji and Youngwon began to open up to each other, and so their romantic relationship began while recognizing the potential for marriage. Throughout their time together, Eunji and Youngwon began to realize that their significant other was the person that God had prepared them to live their lives together as one family. So here we are today, a special day for the two. Youngwon and Eunji will be joined in matrimony together as husband and wife. And now we move on to the exchange of vows. So this couple has come here today to be joined in marriage, which is a voluntary union of two persons to the exclusion of others. At this point, the bride and groom will declare that they have no legal impediments to this marriage.
I do solemnly declare that I do not know of any lawful impediment why I, Youngwon Jin, may not be joined in matrimony to Eunji Kim. 나 신랑 진용원은 신부 김은지와 혼인으로서 맺어지는데 장애가 될 만한 법적 사유가 없음을 맹세합니다.
네, 그럼 이제 신부님께서 선언하시겠습니다.
I do solemnly declare that I do not know of any lawful impediment why I, Eunji Kim, may not be joined in matrimony to Youngwon Jin. 나 신부 김은지는 신랑 진용원과 혼인으로서 맺어지는데 장애가 될 만한 법적 사유가 없음을 맹세합니다.
네, 자 그럼 이제 오늘 결혼식의 가장 중요한 순서입니다. 신랑 신부는 이제 여기 모이신 분들께 서로 부부의 연을 맺는 증인 요청을 엄숙하게 선언하겠습니다. And now the couple will formally ask everyone here to witness their marriage. 먼저 신랑 진용원 군이 선언을 하겠습니다.
I call upon these persons here present to witness that I, Youngwon Jin, do take you, Eunji Kim, to be my lawful wedded wife. 나 신랑 진용원은 여기 참석한 이들에게 신부 김은지를 나의 법적 아내로 받아들이는 것에 증인이 되어주기를 요청드립니다.
네, 신랑 진용원 군이 늠름한 목소리로 선언을 하였습니다. 그럼 이번엔 신부 김은지 양이 선언을 하겠습니다.
I call upon these persons here present to witness that I, Eunji Kim, do take you, Youngwon Jin, to be my lawful wedded husband. 나 신부 김은지는 여기 참석한 이들에게 신랑 진용원을 나의 법적 남편으로 받아들이는 것에 증인이 되어주기를 요청드립니다.
네, 자 이것으로 신랑 신부의 굳건한 선언을 들었습니다. And now, as a permanent physical symbol of the promise that they're making today, the bride and groom will now be exchanging rings. 자 이번엔 오늘 결혼에 대한 굳건한 증표로 신랑 신부가 예물 반지를 서로에게 끼워주기로 하겠습니다. So at this time, I'll call upon the groom's ring bearer to hand him the ring.
나는 앞으로 영원히 당신의 자랑스러운 남편이 되겠다는 약속의 증표로 이 반지를 드립니다.
Photo? No, we're good? Okay, now at this time, I'm going to call the groom's ring bearer.
나는 앞으로 영원히 당신의 자랑스러운 아내가 되겠다는 약속의 증표로 이 반지를 드립니다.
Alright. Next, we have a special event. Normally, after the wedding ring is exchanged, we would have the bride and groom write a letter to each other and read it in front of everybody and embarrass them in a typical wedding. But for tonight, Eunji and Yongwon has actually spiced it up a little, and they took it to another level and replaced this part with a song that they will sing in front of all of us. If you look at the wedding brochure, the lyrics are shown on the on there, so please give them a round of applause.
잠시만요.
친구 곤란해.
빠져가지고.
Good practice.
지금 난 배워가오 살아가는 방법을.
당신을 존중하겠소. 한 남잔 보지 않겠소. 수많은 남자 중에 당신이 내게 와줘서 너무나 감사하오. 조금은 어색해도 지금 난 배워가오. 사랑받는 방법을. 그 많고 많은 사람 중에 인생이라는 시간 속에서 지금 내 앞에 있는 그대 이제야 알죠. 그 많고 많은 사람 중에 인생이라는 시간 속에서 지금 내 앞에 있는 그대 이제야 알죠. 그 많고 많은 사람 중에 인생이라는 시간 속에서 지금 내 앞에 있는 그대 이제야 알죠. 이시와 이셔처럼 우리는 만났었죠. 기대하고 기뻐하고 뿌듯해서 잠을 설쳐. 이시와 이셔처럼 주님이 맺어주신 나의 신부 나의 신랑 사랑해요 우리 서로.
Honestly, I cried a little in the back. 자, 하객 여러분, 그럼 이제 신랑 진용원 군과 신부 김은지 양이 정식으로 부부가 되었습니다. 이제 더욱더 확실히 둘을 묶어버릴 방법이 뭐가 있을까요? 하기 전에 we're gonna get there eventually. 네, 일단은 뭐니 해도 서면 계약이죠. 네, 이번 시간에는 신랑 신부가 법적으로 혼인 신고서에 서명을 하는 차례입니다. And now I'd like to call upon those who have the honor of being the legal witnesses for the signing of the marriage documents.
펜좀 비싼 거 낼 것 같은데.
우리가 먼저 하는 거지. 어디에 하는 거야? 내가? 내가 여기다.
난 신부 밑에 내가 할래.
신부 측에 하시겠대요. 뭐라고 신부 측에 사인 하시겠대요.
미안해.
감사합니다.
Alright, so it's fully official and legal. So Christina, you can't back out anymore. I'm sorry. Alright, before we end the ceremony tonight, we have a very special gift from one of the guests that are joining us through live streaming. Now, because of COVID, it's very unfortunate that many of the guests here couldn't physically join us here in Winnipeg. But to congratulate Eunji and Yongwon, their wedding all the way from Germany, Eunji's sister and her friends prepared a special song that they've recorded for us to watch during the ceremony. Now, Eunji's sister Minji and her friends are all majoring in opera music. So I'm actually quite excited to watch what they've prepared for us tonight. So now I'm just going to turn everyone's attention towards the screen. That was amazing. Another applause for Minji and her friends, please. She's watching through the live stream. 네, 세 분 모두 진짜 오페라 뮤직 전공답게 목소리가 너무 좋으셔서 네, 저도 더 빠져들었습니다. 멀리서 축하 영상 보내주신 신부 언니분께 다시 한번 감사의 말씀드립니다. Okay, so this completes all the formal parts of tonight's wedding ceremony. And before we proceed to the presentation of the couple, I'd like to thank everyone. I'd like to thank everyone for coming again with COVID difficulties. And it's as it's Eunji and Yongwon's marriage, it's one of the most memorable moments that they will have in their lives. I didn't forget the kissing part.
좋아 좋아.
Okay. So now, after the closing remarks, Eunji and Yongwon is gonna head out briefly for photos and rejoin us shortly. Well, now you've said your vows, you've heard the congratulations and exchanged rings. So in front of you, all are your closest friends and family. I pronounce you husband and wife. And so Yongwon, you may now kiss Eunji. One more time? No? Okay, so that completes all the formal parts again, and so everyone, after the live streaming is completed, and we're gonna have the reception after when they exit, and also if you guys haven't had the chance to take photos, we can do that afterwards as well. Okay, so when they head out, all the invited can take the moment to chat amongst yourselves, but within your table, and take lovely photos with the bride and groom. They'll be walking around, and we can take pictures. So once again, reminder, you must have your mask on if you leave the table, and the reception will follow after. 자, 이것으로 신랑 신부께서 명령하신 막중한 임무는 여기서 저는 끝이 났고요. 저는 이 중요한 임무를 저한테 믿고 맡겨주신 신랑 신부님께 다시 한번 감사드리면서 두 분은 앞으로 평생 행복한 일만 가득하시길 진심으로 기도하겠습니다. 지금까지 사회자 이진우였습니다. Okay, once again, on behalf of the couple, thank you everyone for coming. And I'd like to give special thanks to those of you who are joining us through the live stream. So everyone, please have a wonderful evening. And with that, I'll ask everyone to please stand once again as we move on to the last part of the ceremony. So it is my distinct honor to present you for the first time ever, Yongwon and Eunji as husband and wife.
You. I can't wait until I'm 18 to make you so I don't have to worry about important things.
That's not what I mean. I don't worry because, well, I have you, and Elsa, and Kristoff, and Sven, and the gates are open wide. I'm not alone. Yes, the wind blows a little bit colder, and we're all getting older. That's why I rely on certain certainty.
anyone hungry? We're gonna get to dinner pretty soon. So if you look at your menus,
Leaves are already falling, and it feels like the future is calling. Are you telling me tonight you're gonna get down on one knee? Like candlelight is pulling the brains out. Maybe you should leave all the romantic stuff to me. And some things never change, like the love that I feel for her. Some things stay the same, like how rainbows are easier. I come in and I go for it. I'll know what to say and do. Right?
okay, so if you look at the menu, there are 5 main entree dishes, options to choose from. So you can start making your decisions, and somebody's gonna come to take your orders. Just for the steaks that are on the menu.